come down or what? Wet spots. Shouldn't be a wet spot today. I had turtles come today and they cut. We're ready to. Good evening. Welcome to the IMU Board of Trustees of the Electric, Water, and Communications Utilities for October 28th. And we'll start with roll call, please, Monica.
Chelsea is going to be doing the roll call this evening. Thank you. Selgrade. White.
Present.
Smith. Rozga.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. We have public comment. Do we have specifics or anything? Okay. So we'll move on. And next we have we need a first and second motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Chelsea.
White.
Yes.
Smith. Rozga.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Selgrade.
Yes.
Okay. Our consent agenda tonight includes approval of claims, approval of minutes of the prior meetings, a resolution approving pay App 5 to Miller Electric for the downtown underground conversion project, South Alley premise wiring project. We'll skip back up to claims. Did anybody have any questions or concerns? Minutes? Resolution? Mike, do you want to speak to that or anything? Okay. All right. Chelsea? Roll call, please.
Rozga.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Selgrade.
Yes.
White.
Yes. Okay.
Resolution D approving pay app 11 for the turbine 8 control replacement project. Mike, you have something for that?
No, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
That's
read
all right.
that.
Nope,
Did I
you
not
didn't.
read it? Sorry.
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Okay, next is electric utility action items. I need a first and second motion to enter into public hearing for the 69 kV line relay replacement project.
So moved.
Okay, Chelsea, roll call, please.
Voigt.
Yes.
Selgrade.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Rozga.
Yes.
Okay, discussion on this. Mike, do you want to address anything or? Oh, that's right, okay. Okay, anybody have? There's nobody here, okay. Okay, roll call, Chelsea, please.
We'll need a motion.
Pardon me?
Need a motion to exit. I so move.
Oh.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I need a first and second motion to consider a resolution approving the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the 69 kV line relay replacement project. First and second motion?
Second.
Let's not be shy.
Second and everything.
Okay, discussion?
Yeah, this is the same plans and spec that we went over a couple meetings ago to be able to send the bids out. It's same plan specs, nothing's changed.
Questions for Mike? All right, seeing none. Chelsea, roll call, please.
Rozga.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Selgrade.
Yes.
White.
Yes. Okay, next is, I need a first and second motion to consider a resolution awarding contract for 69 kV line relay replacement. project.
So move.
Second. I tried to get.
Okay. Questions? Discussion? Chelsea?
Voight,
Yes.
Selgrade,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Rozga.
Yes.
Okay. Need a first and second motion to consider a resolution approving change order number 4, Turbine 8 Control Project.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, this is just the change order for the, during the commissioning when they were here, and we were also doing the vibration testing. They had lost some time as part of that because of it with some grounding issues, so they lost part of that. But then also the major part of that is they got to come back and do the emission testing again for the testing to try to be ready for when we bring the DNR back later on, hopefully sometime in December when they'll be here for that test.
Did somebody do something wrong?
I would say no. We had some pieces of equipment that didn't work that we thought were working fine through the whole process.
Because as I was reading through that, it appeared that the grounding of this was the issue that caused the problem.
Correct. That part, I thought you were referring to the emissions of it. There was a ground that when they come back in, they put a ground to it. Unbeknownst to them, they didn't know that they couldn't ground it there, and that caused issues with controls as part of that project.
Well, I don't understand why we're paying for somebody else's mistake.
I mean, we can take it back to our engineer and ask him again. I know the problem was we got multiple contractors in there at one time.
Well, but we hire people that we think are the people that do the job, because we think they can do the job.
Right.
They grounded something that should have been grounded,
But he
caused a
was-
problem that's now costing us a chunk of change.
Yep. The problem was he was not aware he couldn't ground for that.
I don't
part of
care.
that.
He should have been. I mean, if they're supposed to be the expert that's front of me that says, would they not know that? Maybe
He's
I'm
not the
well
ex-
wet.
He wasn't the expert on controls. He's not an expert on controls. He's an expert on vibration. He
Okay.
thought he could ground to the grounding grid the way he did, like he normally does. Found out that he wasn't able to ground right. I understand where you're coming from, for sure.
And do they not have any liability or
Yeah.
something, or insurance that they should have to cover?
Sure.
To make us whole?
We can sure hold that and go back and see,
I don't know.
we can send anything out.
No,
I agree with you.
As I was reading through what was presented in there, I'm thinking, well, why didn't we ground this? Because it appeared that was the issue. And now it's costing us money to get somebody did something they weren't supposed to, and I understand they didn't know they weren't supposed to, but
That's what insurance is for.
or.
I will say, the whole part of the deal is too with this project is Petrotech has not come back with all the other delays we had with HPI as part of that project. We have not seen any other change orders with the delays that we had through that whole project.
It's gonna cost us more.
I think he's saying
I think that's where our engineer
they
was coming
haven't
from.
charged more for that, so it's fair for them to charge for this.
What if they do come back and charge more?
They haven't yet, and I mean, they're up to date on their change orders. This is the latest, greatest change order that we have for the project.
I agree though with you, Mike. I think it's
Yeah.
worth at least taking a shot and going back to it. We may not be successful, but it's worth a try.
I think we should at least ask the question.
Yeah. Even be at 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
Do we have a way of breaking this down between the emissions and the
Right.
other testing?
Yeah.
If we can get I think Mike can kind of walk through the details, but the emissions related change order stuff is probably still appropriate, and we would like to get that going through, and that was component failures.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with that at all. I just have an issue with
Can we get, Monica, how are we going to modify the resolution to approve the,
Theoretically, looking at it without any legal or engineering eyes, if we were to eliminate the line that says time spent troubleshooting problems with vibration monitoring equipment, from there, the numbers would then also change, depending on what percentage of these overall numbers were the vibration delay or the second emissions test. So I think that's going to be,
and we can figure that out. So if you guys wanted to approve it, approve the portion related to the emissions test, and we can work those numbers out, and we'll get back to you on the remainder. I think that would be the preferred methodology.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Do you want to propose that as a
I would love to
modification?
propose what Chris said.
so you are proposing an amendment to the resolution to strike the portion for the troubleshooting problems with vibration monitoring equipment from the resolution, which would then make it read, Petrotech issued a recommendation for a change order to turbine 8 control replacement project, recognizing the need to conduct a second emissions test, period. And then remove that, and then the numbers to reflect that change.
Yep.
And then we can make a second resolution for the troubleshooting vibration equipment portion if necessary. Yes?
Cool.
All right, I will need a news first and second for that change then, and separate
I'll make
vote.
that motion.
Does the first
Second.
one need to die on the no vote? Or not?
Yeah.
This can be just a friendly amendment. If-
Okay.
If nobody objects, we'll just, yeah.
Okay. I will mark it on the resolution here.
So the vibration piece was 8618, right? That's the part that's coming out.
Yeah.
The part we'd be, I'll look it up. I'll get the actual dollars.
Okay.
Okay, so are we ready for roll call then?
Yes.
Okay, Chelsea?
Mike, you good?
Selgrave,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Rosga,
Yes.
Voight,
Yes.
Okay, the electrical utility informational items, Mike,
Yep.
please?
So we did have an outage last week, Tuesday, I believe it was, on Scott Felton. We had a section of underground that failed. We did some temporary of that, and then today, we bored in a new piece of cable and then scheduled the outage, and we're able to make that cut over today. We're also in the process of doing our annual electric meter testing around town. We've sent out notifications for that as well. We've got crews working on the downtown square project and the high school project. And then also we'll be bringing back to you here probably the end of November. We'll do the electric transmission and distribution inspection and maintenance plan, which is our 10-year plan that we file. That says how we're going to inspect our system. And we file that with the, used to be IUD, which is now the IUC.
Do we know what was the cause of the failure on Scott Felton?
Just the cable, it's old ball cane, 5,000 handholds and give a, we
Okay.
actually had 3 of those cables fail that day. And we had 2 spares that we were able to use and one that was on the ground.
Okay. Next is water utility action items. I need a first and second motion to consider resolution approving line tower relocation, filter media replacements, and standby generator addition projects. Engineering services.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Justin, you have,
Yeah, you guys have the contract. I actually have Forrest and Vince here from D&K with any questions on the projects. Lime Tower, sandblasting and repainting. It's the original tower since 1997. It's definitely showing some wear and tear. So just preventative maintenance and get it sandblasted, repainted. Filter media replacement. It is original media since the plant was built. I did have it budgeted for next fiscal year, but we are starting to see some major failures with that, and so we are going to bump that up to this year. Unfortunately, it will probably take out a main project, but the plant and the water is, in my opinion, more important to get straightened out. And then lastly, I know we've had a couple conversations with standby generator. DNR is recommending that to be installed, so that is part of this agreement.
What's the timeline on the media replacement? 'Cause, I think when Chris and I were talking a little bit, he said there was some sagging or some on some of it that probably low.
It's starting to fail. The best way the contractor explained it to me, Vince was on the team call as well, but the media, when it's put in, is jagged. Well, we backwash it and air wash it, and over time it basically gets beat up and it gets rounded, so it's allowing more lime, I guess, to break through, and we're starting to see that in the distribution system. So it's.
What's timeline to replace the media though? I mean, like, are we talking?
Well, there was two
Next
different
month, 2
proposals
months?
there also.
Yes, so we met with First of Dawn. It is
Which one is that makes a difference also?
submittal of drawings would be 4 to 6 weeks after acceptance, and then after that, 14 to 16 weeks on filter media delivery.
Are we comfortable with that timeline, or is there a way to pull that in?
It'd be a conversation to have with the company. Hopefully we could get it sooner, but like I said 14 to 16 is what they just quote, so.
Okay. I know sometimes when media starts to fail,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to get it done sooner.
Yeah, and then with so there was 2 options on that proposal, and the other one was the caps. Talking with the rep, made most sense to replace those caps while we're doing this. We're gonna have all the old media out of there, those caps exposed. Those caps are 27 years old. Is there anything wrong with them? Hard to tell till you get down there. They made a good point though, if you're going to take all the old media out, replace it with new, it's the time to just replace everything under it, because otherwise, 5 years down the road, then.
And I don't disagree with that, I just didn't understand what I was reading.
Yeah. So instead of 5 years down the road, those caps failing on us, and we're pulling all that media back out and replacing those.
One last question. Why do we call it Lime Tower relocation? As near as I can tell, nothing's moving.
I mean, shouldn't be relocation, be recoding.
Recoding? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, well, where are we moving the Lime Tower to? And I'm reading the net, and never saw that.
And I'd like to hear a little bit more on the cost for these services. The $32,000 for line tower recoding seems high. 84.5 for the generator also seems really high. Because that's just for design services, right? That's not the actual cost.
So that's for design and the drawing of the specs, the plans, as well as their on-site support staff.
Typically, engineering is 10% of the contract, and that's based upon that generator.
So that generator, we're gonna pay $850,000?
Engineer's estimate is, last we talked, was 800,000.
What the hell does this generator do?
Generate half the electricity for Indianola, that counts.
It is a 1 megawatt generator.
Who wants to answer that? I mean, I don't disagree with that, that's a buttload of money.
I'm Vince Driscoll with Dean Stern Kim. So what we have in here for prices, the recoding, that takes into account putting the plans together, inspecting, doing a preliminary inspection of the line tower as well, getting a bid ready, receiving bids from a contractor, getting us, pre-con submittals, what they're going to use to do the project, and then also having someone there while they're doing the recoding to do certain tests and inspection of the work. I think it's been 5 years, 4 or 5 years, we did the line softening units and the recarbonation tank, kind of similar hourly basis for the construction side of things to do that. I don't have my breakdown with me, but the largest part of that, $35,000, is the construction of it, making sure we can have a guy there when they're needed. The generator, that is with the permitting, with the DNR, with designing that large of a project, that's where our electrical engineer is estimating where that number's coming from.
And that includes all structural and
Yes, as far as the
civil and...
concrete site work, getting the lines to the building, transfer switch.
They're pouring a 12-inch pad. So how big is this sucker?
I don't have the.
So you said 1 megawatt, that, to me, that doesn't mean anything.
That's pretty big.
kVA.
What's the service size that comes into that building?
That's, here's
Well, I'm sorry, megawatts. Just 1,000 seems big, and from my experience, but for emergency, right? It's not. Would it only be doing the emergency, or is this a full backup of the entire facility?
It's
Full
a full
backup.
backup for the entire facility.
Yeah, the DNR is requiring full backup, full redundancy, and, perpetual runtime, duty cycle runtime.
Just curious.
There's also a duty cycle up.
So how much of this is permitting to the DNR?
Oh, if you say it's a 60-40 split as far as the design goes, maybe.
Probably 10, 15,000 for the air permits.
So they make you do it and then they charge you for it. That's government.
And
Have we
if I'm
already-
not wrong, too, that big of a generator, it'll help with future expansion with the treatment facility as well.
So it's oversized right now, and it's planned to be over. Well, what are we talking expansion then, if we're talking just a little bit? We're talking like, when we expand, we're gonna have to get a second generator, or have you guys talked about that?
We haven't had much discussion on how much of expansion, because I would say, unless we get a big industry in here, we're still probably 10 years plus out for even talking expansion.
Okay. And then you guys already did a calculation of the usage, or did you just look at the panels and say that's how much? I'm just curious, like, 1 megawatt just feels big, but right now I'm just curious.
Right, no, that's a fair question. I don't know what our electrical guy had in there exactly for what, it could be, adding another unit entirely or what, but of course I don't know what.
The generator decides everything is going today. And, during design, we'll work with customers to figure out if that should be 1 megawatt or 1.1 or 0.9. We'll figure that out as part of the design. That doesn't change our fee. but then we'll have some of the different kinds of specs we decide to go out for bids. We'll say, here's the correct size generator for whatever that commission has to be.
So will you guys set up a meter on it to get the calculation, or how are you getting that?
We know the loads that are already coming into the plant, and so we already know how big a generator we need for today. And so then,
So what's the load coming into the plant? I guess that's where I've been trying to get this whole time.
And we can work on that, and we can get those numbers back to you. I don't have those off the top of my head. And just say,
Well, I know, I mean, just the three biggest ones, we've got three 200 horsepower high service pumps. And I don't know what the other research pumps, and I'm trying to mentally catalog some of those other, but.
that, and then it's 250 horse well pump that'll run as well, plus power all the garages, and I mean those are all 3-phase, so it's there's quite the load out there, but we can get those exact numbers and pass them along.
No, I was just curious, like you said, just what is expected to all run at the same time, and not just what's there, but are any of those backups, and like one doesn't run, or, so I'm just.
I mean, I think the high service pumps rarely run at the same time, but we need to have capability, in an emergency if it's been out and our towers are completely empty. Now we've got usage plus probably running all three of those on kill with a well going to kill. I mean, that's 850 horsepower, just 4 motors. Adding in all the, I can't even think, 10 or 15 other circulation pumps that are in there. Like, it seems a little
No,
big
I'm
to
not
me, but I'm
saying,
getting kind of close.
I was just hoping to get the answer, and right now, there's a bunch of pumps, I get it, wells, so on, but we don't have the answer. And that's fine, if you just get back to us, just let us know.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, because, like I said, it'd just be great to have that information when we're saying 1 megawatt, 0.9, or 1.1, somewhere in that range, that.
this is the contract to figure that stuff out. This is the design part of this, figure out exactly, if it should be 1 megawatt, should be a little bit above or below. So the 1 megawatt is just kind of a general statement to use in the concept of how big a generator we're talking about.
Okay.
Chelsea, please.
White,
Yes.
Rosga.
Yes.
Voigt,
Yes.
Selgrade.
Yes.
Okay, next I need a first and second motion to consider a resolution approving the final plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for filter media replacement project.
Do you have any information item? 8?
This is 7B.
7B.
Oh, 7, I'm sorry. Jumped ahead.
We'll do that.
So moved.
Justin?
I don't have any other thing
Okay.
to add to that unless there's any more questions.
Okay. Chelsea, please.
Rosga.
Yes.
Voigt,
Yes.
Selgrade.
Yes.
White.
Yes. Okay, and next we have the water utility informational items. Justin?
Yeah, so I'll start off with the letter that Chris had sent out, I believe it was last week, with the lead service line discussion. This started back in December of 2021 when the EPA said this is what was coming down and what you had to do. When I took over in March of 23, I started from scratch. Me and another employee did. A lot to go through. We submitted just shy of 6,000 service lines, and that was going through records, ID cards, just everything that we could do to get our hands on information of what these service lines were. So then submitted it to the DNR by October 16th, which was the deadline, and as of now we have 9 known either lead or galvanized service lines. 3 of those we know for sure that a portion of that line is lead or galvanized. The other 6 we will need to verify. Those were just off of old permit books. So we'll verify those. Those homeowners will get a letter stating that your line is either lead or galvanized. So I expect I'll get phone calls on that. We ended up having 261 unknown service lines, which it is a big number, but I feel what we went through and the amount that we submitted is pretty fair. I took those 261 and went deeper, tried to find other permit books, old meter records, and with doing that and swapping out some meters, we've had luck getting to houses here. So I'll have to send out a little over 200 letters to homeowners just stating that your service line is unknown. And with that being said, it'll give us an opportunity to get into the house, see what it is. And a lot of these unknowns are old meters as well, so we'll be able to replace water meters while we're in there. And then to that email, no plans of now offering any financing. They have to be, the EPA's put in their deadline of 2037 to have all lead out of the system. Once we get closer to that 2037, if we can't get homeowners to do that, we throw an incentive, but that'll be back to how strict will the EPA be on getting it all out.
Do we have any inklings on requirements of when that has to be done?
When they have to be switched, 2037.
2037.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So it's clear, both in our policies and I think statewide, that service lines are the responsibility of the homeowner, correct?
Correct.
But they're not gonna understand that necessarily, and think that there's a responsibility for finding it. I think you've gotta be prepared for our response, you've got to prepare the other staff for that issue too.
Yes, yep, 100%, yeah.
And I think we need to be on the lookout, to Don's question, about opportunities to help support that. You know, if there's grants or other things either at the state or the federal level that we can apply for, we need to be on the lookout for that. I would hope that, does IAMU do water also?
Yep, so IAMU, that's a good question. I can ask them. They've been great help getting through this process and actually helped me get it submitted because I was having some technical issues. But yeah, that's a great
I would think they would be aware and on top of whether there's opportunities out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a statewide, and I think where we are right now is kind of just quantifying how big a scale. Is there, you know, statewide, is there 10,000, or is there 100,000, or is there 1 million statewide? You know, just to kind of decide. I think the next 10 years will kind of, those decision paths will involve. I know there's talk of what it'll look like or what it could look like. But once everyone submitted their reports and all the late people and everything else, you know, once that's numbered there, I think we'll start to kind of refine what the actual help available and possibilities look like. But, you know, certainly we'll be after that, but nobody has the answer yet.
Well, I also think everybody understands the lead thing, but yes, I wasn't aware that galvanized was also an issue. What's the beef with galvanized pipes?
If
They trust in corrode.
the corrode or their, if you had lead, say it was lead from the main to the stop box galvanized in, they're saying that lead would leach into that galvanized pipe and then get into the system.
So if it's a full galvanized, it's not an issue.
It is.
It still is.
Yes. And I'm going to be quite frank, I don't think there's that many galvanized out there. And if there is, I mean, it's probably
From when they
open the
stopped
size of
using
a pen, just over time, it's
going to corrode.
Yes.
galvanized, yeah, just high failure rate, so it would be highly improbable if somebody still had a functioning galvanized, based upon when they stopped using them. Galvanized just has already failed.
Well, no, you had said 6 of them were galvanized, potentially.
Potentially, yes, and that's just
So-
going through old permit books. Like again, we'll definitely do our research on them and make sure that they really are, but not saying they are, but
Potential.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a chance the old books, and then they've been replaced since, and we'd have no record of that because, so would the city, since all that would be building inspection stuff?
We worked with the city
Yeah.
and went through permit books, yep, and we actually, a lot of the old permit books, we have at our plant now, so.
Awesome. Okay.
So I'll make it quick. We had a water main break this weekend. Unfortunately, it was in the concrete again, so we'll be having some restoration to do on that. We'll probably get on the concrete portion a little quicker than we usually do, just to get it completed by the time it gets cold out.
Where was that at, Justin?
It's on North B Street, just north of Kentucky. Guys completed sucking out our hydrants that don't drain back. We did find 2 of those hydrants that are need replaced. We have one scheduled for this Wednesday. We left notices to the homeowners today to give them their 48 hours, so we will get one this week, and then the weeks to come we'll get the last one fixed.
And do we have those in stock? I think you had said something about we had a certain number before when we were doing an inspection, and then
Yeah,
we
so we
ordered
have
more maybe, or?
We have one brand new one, which we'll put in Wednesday, 2 used ones, and then actually I ordered 3 more today to have on stock. We'll use one of those to fix the second one, and then we'll have two on stock. And then lastly, I gave a plant tour today for some kids out of West Des Moines, and the group has escaped my mind, but there's a group of 7th graders. There's about 10 of them, and their vision is clean water and how to not waste water, basically. So they did a plant tour of the water plant, and then after that they were going out to the wastewater plant just to see how each entity works and what goes into the processes. And that's all I have.
Moving on to communications utility action items. I need a first and second motion to consider resolution authorizing the purchase of a server for the fiber department.
First, so moved, wow.
Second.
I was just in a daze listening there for a minute. I was like, oh, got it.
Been dazed and confused.
Bad when it's only 3 of you, isn't it?
So this server is for the ABR, the TV side of things, the CDN, which is the Content Delivery Network, which just means it's going to be a fancy name for a cache for the streaming services coming up. So we have $40,000 budgeted for servers this year. The original design was to buy 2 of these. Pella is doing the same thing that we are, so right now we're investigating if we can ride and be each other's backup. So hopefully that'll work, but we'll see. But we're going to buy one, get it in-house, and see how it goes. So.
Is this a replacement for an existing server?
No, it's a new server, yeah. And what this does is we'll bring content down from Cedar Falls, store it here. When people go to watch it, they're streaming locally, and we're not having to push traffic all the way to Cedar Falls and back, so just makes it more reliable. So, but hopefully, we may have to buy a second one, but fingers crossed, maybe we'll get lucky and we can make work with Pella.
It'll fit within the budget.
Yeah, yep, like I had 40,000 budgeted for these servers. We went with a little cheaper option. There was a couple different ways to do this. We're going with a little less expensive option, so yeah, 10,000 is all on this one. If we have to buy another one, 20, we should still be well under budget. So.
Great.
Okay, Chelsea, roll call, please.
Rosga,
Yes.
Voigt,
Yes.
Selgrave,
Yes.
White.
Yes. Informational items?
Yeah, I can be quick. We did get the office remodel on the engineering side done. Well, we got all the walls up and everything like that. People are still moving to the offices, but worked out well. It's given us a lot more space. Debbie, you were up on Wednesday and saw it, and
Yeah,
I think it's
looks
going to work a lot
really
better.
nice.
So yeah, definitely good. Everybody seems happy on that. Like I said, everyone's just trying to get everything rearranged now, but another week we'll get that done. The only other thing I've got on that, did have a pre-construction meeting with Telcom last week as well.
They're getting ready to go. They were supposed to start this week on the NOFA 7 South. I don't know if the rain coming in, if they're gonna do that or not, but they're still hopeful they'll get that done this fall before the weather turns. So I thought it would only be a 3-4 week project for them, so they should have enough time before it freezes up, so.
All right, combined electric, water, and communications action items. First and second motion to consider resolution approving policy related to e-bill only credit.
All right, a couple
Wait,
of years
we don't
ago.
have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Chris?
Okay. A couple of years ago, we set forth the e-bill credit policy, and I think the idea originally around that was to let the customers choose, take that average cost, and if the customer wishes to receive a e-bill only, that savings we pass along to them. Over the past couple of years, postage and various costs have increased, so I just wanted to set a policy that we can review annually, setting this credit at that average bill cost, which I have a little calculation in the packet kind of showing some of the costs that are involved. In this case, we would be increasing that credit to $1.26 or $1.25.
What's it at now?
It's at $1. And then mostly, as you go back through old bills, it's about half postage, a little bit of printing. But, again, we're setting that, setting that philosophy that customers can choose to save that dollars. And as that changes, we'll update that credit.
Chelsea, please.
Voight,
Yes.
Selgrave,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Rozga.
Yes.
Okay, next, first and second motion to consider a resolution approving IMU Project Share Committee members.
So, second.
Chris?
All right, it has been some time, but this year we had some project share donations come in, so we've kind of dusted off / recreated the projects share committee. The members in your packet are from various agencies that handle a lot of in-need folks, and I think this is a group of 4 people, Alicia being one of them. That'll have great insight, and I think they'll make some good decisions as far as who's most in need and the best usage of our current donations or anything else that comes in.
So is there like an application process, or how will this work for them to distribute funds to those who need it?
It'll be one of the, it'll be a resource or a contact that Alicia will take part for us, and, if we do have, the CSRs will kind of collect and let customers know that, here are the people to contact regarding, here's another option. And I think once they've kind of come up with enough of those people to kind of go through and analyze, then they'll be forwarded on. So it'll be kind of a resource and application that our CSRs will let people know that are available.
Chelsea, please.
Voight,
Yes.
Selgrave,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Rozga.
Yes.
Okay, next, a first and second motion is needed to consider resolution approving special counsel to represent Indianola Municipal Utilities, IMU, or the client in connection with the denial of insurance coverage.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Chris, discussion?
All right, our typical counsel used does have a conflict. He has represented our insurance company in the past and therefore can't represent us in a matter of the denial of coverage surrounding the Turbine 8 failures. He was recommended by a couple, his name came up in a couple of places, had a great conversation with them. They have represented people on both sides of insurance companies, both the companies and previous denial of coverage claims. So I think Kevin Driscoll will be a good resource as we look at options following the denial of our claim.
Any other questions? Okay, Chelsea, please.
Selgreen,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Frazka,
Yes.
Voight,
Yes.
Okay, next, discussion of the IMU strategic plan. Chris?
All right, up on the board, we'll try to go through this. This was the, Lori asked about our strategic plan updates. I think for the board members, you'll see a lot of the similar information that we discussed in July. We'll try to hit this pretty quick. Goal one, being the leader in reliability. The downtown and First Street projects are our big projects surrounding that. The other 2024 projects related to this goal are K Street, which that scope changed and that's substantially complete, as well as the solar field. And I do have a little update coming up on that. This remains unchanged. We still have those 4 entrants in our program, and Mike's involved in those tours of the high school. Those have been appreciated and an option for our students. This again is unchanged from our goal. This is related to eventually removing all those 4 kVA substations and having everything on our 13.2 system. And this quantifies, again, our discussion of our territory. Just a little more information that remains unchanged. And the electrical system undergrounding, as soon as we kind of come out of that downtown and First Street, we will be tackling the undergrounded sections south of 92 first, but this gives both you guys an update and anybody paying attention at home an idea of the areas in town that are still overhead and that are underground or are old underground. As in some of the cases, you'll see where our recent failure was. This is a little bit of an opportunity to brag. Mike and his team have been working hard on LED streetlight conversions. This is our progress over the last 3 years. We have 180 streetlights still left. The directional drilling, I think, by all accounts, Mike came in on Friday and was talking to me about they did 2 underground borings in the morning time frame. So, the learning and the progress on that is going. That's exceeding, I think, my expectations. Those guys are doing great. Those are taking fractions of the time they were when we first got it. So the promise of the underground drilling horizontal boring machines remains. These are the listed projects and where we're ranked in those goals. There's a lot of information on here. I'll kind of skip through some of those. The big ones being the solar field. Talked about the turbine controls progress. The emissions testing remains, and the 3-year out projects kind of gives you an idea of what next year looks, or next couple of years look like, and some of the dollars were made into those. You guys saw those projects. The red is a little bit of updated materials or information surrounding those, where we're at in accomplishing those. On the water side, our top goal there is to proactively upgrade our infrastructure. Distribution systems a priority, as well as any of the plant and water treatment. We talked a lot tonight about some of those projects we'll be working on. This isn't still remains our 5-year main improvement plan. Remains unchanged really since our earlier discussion. For our 24-25 projects, you'll see that filter media testing and replacement. We just approved those contracts tonight. The roof upgrades will be a spring project as some of the funding and moving stuff allows. The lime silo we just voted on tonight, as well as the standby generator. So, that's where we're at with those projects. The West Clinton Howard Buxton project, we are doing that together with the city. You guys didn't approve that project, but the city did have that main infrastructure included in their project. They just, so that has been voted on, approved, and awarded. We still are, or we are expecting that main project to be done in 2024. And the North K water main project, that will probably be the one we push back because of the filter towers. And one thing that I want to take a little bit of time, that 500 block of East 3rd is an engineered project. This kind of, because from time to time we have a project that gets canceled or delayed or pushed off, and we really don't have a plan B option. I think Adam kind of commented about some of the financial aspects of that. This is a project, we don't know if we'll do this. This kind of is this is our project sitting on the shelf. So if something else happens, delays, or time allows, we will do this. It's sitting ready to go, engineered. But right now, we probably won't be planning on accomplishing it quite yet. But it is, it's waiting in the wings if something else happens.
Good, thanks for doing that.
And this, again, kind of just a 5-year overview of, the security-related stuff. The solar project is going in. They're talking easements and contracts for getting the fencing up with that, so we do appreciate that's a good, I think, double benefit for us. They'll put it up, and we'll get a lot of the benefit out of that. But all the rest of the water meters that tend to be regular and cyclical, as well as also of note, the pulling well to 10 and inspecting that, replacing that, all upcoming. On the communication side, expanding our customer base. I think chatted with Kurt. We're still going, net new. I think there's quite a few more installs. We keep our installers busy, but we're over the past couple of months, we're at least maintaining still 30 new customers. In 3.2, any expansions right now, realistically, for us to expand, it does require some government grant money to make happen, but we do look at those for any of the possibilities and changes in those grant options. And then, Kurt and his crew, I know there's still testing. We've ordered a couple of our next generation equipment for multi-gig capacity. Testing's being planned, and that'll be really some of our future projects, or the future ability to offer multi-gig and a more comprehensive package like TV streaming that server we just ordered will be directly related to. This is unchanged. It's from our last meeting. Still great penetration. We'll, with our goal being 70% market penetration, no reason not to think we'll do that, and 7,100 potential subs, and the various penetration percentages on the side there. So still on track, and think we'll be in line with those goals. This, again, it's a little bit busy from this distance, but just maybe for our customers' knowledge, it gives kind of update of our customers, past, present, what the projections were, what they are now, and when we think we'll hit some of those magic numbers we talked about previously. These goals remain still in progress. NOFA 7, the north and south projects, those come up from time to time. We just awarded that contract last meeting, so that's still in progress. And these are really some of those, that talk about the testing involved. Those multi-gig speeds are kind of the highlight here. And we plan on offering speeds in greater than 1 gig in 2025. Update for those. The rest of those, this is kind of what is employee training wise, what Kurt's handling, and the stuff his employees have attended, and our goal related to sponsorships, library trunk or treat. I'll got a little bit of update on that coming up. And what the IMU Fiber's 12 to 24 month focus. Again, this is unchanged from our July discussion. On the administrative side, still looking at CapEx and some more investment opportunities. That seems to be, it's not dead, it's evolving. I think we'll still have some opportunity. The employee development cross-training, Chelsea's here helping Monica out with some cross-training. We've also got that with apprenticeships, and I know Chris is looking for a couple training opportunities on the administrative side. I'm glad to see that those trainings opportunities being taken advantage of. As related to 5.2, employee recruitment and retention, I think that classification and compensation study that we're in the middle of, that'll be a good component of achieving that goal, as well as our various annual events for and awards and acknowledgments of our staff at 5.3. The communications goals, again, that communication plan, Gradient 9 has been great. I've liked everything they've been working with and working for us. Appreciate those monthly updates, and the newsletter has been spectacular. Staff attending, I did a Rotary presentation as well as Lions Club. Our on 7.3, the community support decorations. Most recently, weather's starting to turn. We're talking about holiday lights for 2024. And on goal 7.4, we maintaining that contract. The rebate programs are reviewed and updated as recommended by our vendor, which is IAMU. They do a lot of comprehensive updates about the competitiveness, and we're keeping track on that. And as far as that nonprofits go, I have noted an increase in teamwork with our local nonprofits. I think Alicia being involved with this project share committee will just extend that progress as far as the setting annual budgets. We are starting our CIP process. We still think we'll bring that first draft of our CIP in December. 8.2, I think all of the department heads are regularly attending meetings with city staff regarding their infrastructure replacement projects as well as ours. And 8.3 being the strategic plan reviews. We had our meeting at IMU on July 18th. And that was quick as we can make it through, 30 slides.
Kurt, so we've got about 30 installs a month, or is that
No, no, no.
30 new customers?
That's new customers.
That's
our
net new
customers.
customers?
Yeah, yeah. Somewhere between 25, 30, it varies depending on where
Okay.
we're at. I just checked the numbers today, it looks like November's gonna be 30 or 32, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the grants you were talking about for expansion, are those things we're still looking at if they come up, or?
Yeah, we'll look at, they just released the BEAD program while I was on vacation. I haven't had a chance to get my, download that and take a look at it yet, but we'll see where it's at and how they're gonna do it, so, but, that would be the next opportunity for us to take a look at things. We did apply for NOFA 8. We didn't get that just because there wasn't really any high priority areas around us, but we'll see what they're doing for BEAD. That's on my list of things to do here next week, probably.
Okay, so we do, even if we're like still building in town, we still are looking for
Yep,
those. If
definitely,
they
yeah.
come up,
Yeah, there's some
great.
places out in the county where the density will work. We just need some help getting there on the main line. So, but like I said, we'll see what the rules are for the BEAD project, and yeah, I'll bring back any recommendations to you. So.
No, that's awesome. I know I just hear from people outside of, they're just wanting it.
Sure.
They hate
They
what
can
they
move to
get.
town.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, but you hear that, but at the same time, I'm looking at our penetration on the north and south NOFA project. We're like 30%.
Yeah, it's a little bit better now. I don't think those are the updated numbers. It's taking a little longer on the rural areas. We're still trying to figure out how to market to the rural folks. We have seen, though, as people start to hook up, word of mouth is working out there, too. But again, there's just not as many people out there to talk amongst themselves. But we are seeing much better take rate down south than we did up on the north side. And I also know North Project, there are some older families up there that probably just aren't going to take our services anytime soon. So, but yeah.
I hope it picks up, because and I know we received grant money to put this stuff in and everything else, but even with that kind of penetration, I don't know how you justify that kind of expenditure.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, we're doing the east side of Nevada Street here. Well, that's what Telecom's doing now. So, I know I've got many customers along there that have called and asked about when service will be available. So, those should be good too. So.
Okay, combined electric, water, and communications informational items, Chris?
All right, over the past couple of weeks, Sand Hills is scheduling the delivery of their supplies, so we had our groundbreaking, and now they're kind of mobilizing and getting their offices getting ready to be delivered, so good progress on that. Mentioned a little earlier about our denial of coverage. I think we've got all of the package ready, we're just waiting for the vote tonight. Information sent to our attorneys. He's been helpful thus far, and we'll get him the rest of that information to get a good plan going forward. On our property purchase, we had a meeting with the seller, and they had a couple of questions and wanted some information from us. That has been supplied with them. They're received that information. They're going to kind of debate that amongst themselves, and have indicated they'd let us know mid-month in November. They're still on board. They're still committed to it, but we don't have a signed contract yet. And trunk or treat, rain may move that trunk or treat rain schedule on Wednesday, so if you were planning on attending the library trunk or treat, that could get moved. Pay attention to those city notifications. I think we're prepared to participate on either day. I think everyone's gave the thumbs up on either Wednesday or Thursday, but if you planned on showing up, make sure you subscribe to their Facebook notifications so you can get notified if that gets moved due to pending weather. That is it.
Okay. Anybody have any other business?
Kurt, I didn't hear anything. The Calix conference that you guys went to?
Yep.
What did you pick up out of that? Anything that's...
Yeah, it was a lot of good stuff. KG and I both went, so he obviously focused on the engineering side. I actually went to a lot of the marketing type stuff, more for the general manager, director, stuff like that. Definitely got some interesting ideas. We're not the only ones having issues picking up rural customers, so there were sessions that dealt with that, and then just some ideas of what maybe the future is going to look like too, and where maybe disruptions might happen down the road. So
And I can put something together and we could talk about that at a future meeting. Be happy to do that.
Yeah, I'm just kind of more curious than anything
Yeah.
to see, hopefully it's worthwhile, and then, you hear stuff about, what is it, SpaceX and these other things that are out there, and I mean, how are these things down the road as those things
Yep.
become more feasible?
Yep, they take a look at that. They were focused this year on the cellular carriers. That's where they think the pressure is going to come from first. But yeah, and then a lot of good ideas on how we can market to our customers and services we can provide to our customers. And yeah, a lot of good programs and little seminars. So
Yeah, Kurt came back with, pestered him about all the highlights, and we've had a couple of good, discussions what the future holds, and so, I do think, they were concepts similar to what we were considering, but just kind of a more definitive approach, and they did have some interesting feedback, and I think they certainly will be items that are for consideration as we move forward for our next generation of products. So I appreciated, just the quick update that I've had.
Okay. Need a first and second motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in
We're right
favor?
on top of that one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.